Alright, fellow hunters, time to look at the final episode of the day, which is When the Levee Breaks. Dean and Bobby lure lock Sam in Bobby's panic room in order to help him withdraw from the effects of the demon blood. Sam starts to hallucinate. First, he imagines he's being tortured by Alistair. Next, he's visited by a 14-year-old self. He accuses him of abandoning his hope of being normal and bring up his guilt of Jess's death. The hallucination then says maybe Sam just can't deny what's inside of him, and Charles' eyes turn yellow like Azazel. Meanwhile, Rufus Turner rings Bobby with news of more of the 66 seals being broken. Bobby challenges Dean about whether they are doing the right thing, and whether they should let Sam go after Lilith to stop the apocalypse. Still in Bobby's panic room, Sam sees his mother, who says she understands what he is doing, gives him support, and tells him not to let Dean get in his way. Dean calls on Castiel, who tells him that Sam could possibly kill Lilith, but that consuming enough demon blood to do so would make Sam inhuman. Castiel says that Dean can be the one to stop the apocalypse, rather than Sam, and asks if Dean will do it. Dean agrees, and swears fealty and obedience to God and the angels. Dean talks to Bobby about his newly sworn allegiance, which Bobby doesn't understand. Dean tells him it's better to work with the angels than let Sam trust a demon. Bobby understands just everything goes quiet. Too quiet. They go into the panic room and see Sam twitching on the floor. Dean suspects that Sam is faking it, thinking he'd do anything. They realize Sam isn't faking it when he's flung around the panic room by the demon blood. Dean and Bobby handcuff him to the bed. After they leave, Sam hallucinates Dean is taunting him and calling him a monster. At the same time, the real Dean and Bobby discuss the situation. Bobby reluctantly suggests to him that maybe they are killing Sam with the cold turkey approach, and that maybe he would make an even better soldier if he had what he needs. Dean says he'd rather have Sam die human than turn him into a monster. That night, unbeknownst to Sam, Castiel comes and uses his powers to release Sam's bonds and open the door to the panic room. The very sick Sam manages to slip out of the house, but is confronted by Bobby, armed with a shotgun, as he attempts to steal a car from the yard. Sam challenges Bobby's resolve to shoot him. Bobby pleads with him to come back inside, explaining that they are only trying to help him. Sam cheerfully pulls the barrel of the gun to his own chest and then says, "Then shoot." Bobby hesitates. Sam grabs the gun and knocks him out with it. He steals the car and escapes. Anna visits Castiel and confronts him over his actions, saying Sam's actions have been even worse than they thought, and that Dean was rightfully trying to stop him. Castiel replies that he is acting on orders, and tells her that she really shouldn't have come. The two other angels appear and take her captive. Sam meets up with Ruby after making major efforts to throw Dean off his trail and drinks more of her blood. Ruby tells Sam that there are only 2 or 3 seals left to be broken. She says only Lucifer's first can break the final seal, and that is Lilith. There's renewed Sam's desire to kill Lilith. She says he has a Leonon demon close to Lilith, and she knows where this demon can be found. As Sam and Ruby prepare to go capture Lilith's cohort, Dean arrives. He catches Ruby in the room alone and tries to kill her. Sam returns in time to stop him. Sam and Dean start to argue. Dean again trying to convince him that Ruby is a poisonous manipulator. However, Sam cannot be moved and begs Dean to just trust him this time. Dean refuses, eventually telling him that he has no idea what he's doing. The argument gets more heated and bitter until Dean finally, tearfully, calls Sam a monster. Sam pauses, and then Dean halfway across the room with a crushing blow. A bitter brawl ensues, which ends when Sam overwhelms Dean and nearly strangles him to the point of unconsciousness, but he stops short. As he turns to leave, Dean admonishes him with the same words John Winchester used so many years ago. If Sam leaves, he should never come back. Sam gives him one last look, then walks out, leaving Dean lying in the ruins of the room. Aww. So let's take a look at some continuity surrounding this episode. Sam was locked in the panic room in the previous episode. Alistair, Azazel, and Mary Winchester all appear as Sam's hallucinations. Rufus Turner calls Bobby in this episode, who was first introduced in Time Is on My Side. Two Rufus Turner reports being broken are 10 species extinct in Key West, a fishing crew of 15 goes blind in Alaska, and a teacher near kills 66 students all in one day. This episode is the penultimate before the season finale, eventually setting up the events of Sam's downfall and the consequences, freeing Lucifer and jumpstarting the apocalypse. Dean's outside to Sam is exactly the same line that John apparently had said to Sam when he left for Stanford. His use of the words only steers Sam to leave, just as with John. And now finally, let's take a look at some trivia surrounding this episode. Mary's hairstyle knows will be different from that of her previous appearances. The title is a reference to the Led Zeppelin song of the same name. The last part of the previous episode was meant to be the beginning of this episode. This one of the few episodes don't involve a death of any kind. So overall, I think that this episode is really damn good, and yeah, it's kind of sad to see Sam and Dean splitting up again. But we know that eventually they'll come back to each other in the next episode. So yeah. So overall, I give When the Levee Breaks 5 Impalas out of 5. Anyway, 2 tomorrow as we take a look at the final episode of the season, Lucifer Rising. So until then, carry on, my wayward sons and daughters.